Hey gang, Ronin here. Welcome on back to the Retrocade. It's Wednesday, and that means it is time for our third WTF Wednesday. The feature where we go back through the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth generations of games and investigate ones that on paper seem like a good idea at the time, but now, 25, 30, sometimes even 40 years later, maybe not so much. If you've been enjoying the content on the channel, as always, best way you can show it is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. Also, follow us on Twitter at @Retrocade. Help spread the word if you can. Help us hit our goal of 100 subscribers as soon as possible. That way we can unlock YouTube's customization algorithm and make this channel bigger and better. Don't miss out on Sports Saturday and Sucker Punch Sunday coming up this weekend, where we play a sports and fighting or fighting platform-based game from the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth generation. And also to give you guys a heads up, we are planning to start our next big walkthrough next week. I don't want to give away the title yet. I will let you know that it is an NES title, but we're not going to play it on an NES system. So I'll give you that little teaser, and hopefully I'll give you a reason to tune in. And if there's any game you'd like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive, SNK, Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below or drop me a tweet. Can be any game you guys want. Now, what we're going to do this week is we're going to hit the Wayback Machine and go to 1993 and the good old SNES, and we're going to play a game that I played back in the day only because I babysat a kid who had a Super Nintendo and their parents had this game. We're going to play Super Caesar's Palace Gambling, I guess is the best way to explain it. Again, it came out in 1993. It was developed by Virgin Interactive Entertainment, which, if you're not familiar with the name, is because they ended up going away in the early 2000s. But at the time, they were really big into, they were created in 1983, and it was a pretty big deal for them to bust into the video game market. And why this game came out, I'm not entirely sure. It's a sequel to the 1985 game Caesar's Palace that came out on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And Virgin, for as odd a game as this is, it's not like they made anything that was, other games that weren't great. They had a hand in helping make games like Command & Conquer. They helped make Earthworm Jim. They helped provide the technology to help. They got Disney, their partnership, to make games like The Lion King, Aladdin. They also helped out with RoboCop and The Terminator. They even had a hand in making Resident Evil, and also contributed a little bit to being a publisher for id Software's Doom 2 over in Europe. So it's not like Virgin came up with some bad games. It's just this one, to me, has always struck me as a bit of an odd duck. Now, I will tell you, I did get a bit of flack last week because we played Brunswick Pro Bowling for the PS2, and I got a bit of grief about saying, why in the name of common sense would you make a game about bowling when you could just go bowling instead? It's cheaper, and to me, it seems more fun. And I had people push back on it and say, well, one, because of COVID, you can't go out right now, and two, I'm physically not able to do it like I used to do. I'm not saying that the games we featured here, of which this being the third, we did Family Feud for the first one and Bowling for the second one, I'm not saying these are bad games necessarily. My whole theory on this is that these are games that if you try to come out with them now, just wouldn't work as much. Because again, you're dealing not just with a niche market, you're dealing with a micro niche. You're dealing with a target group so specific, you've got to really nail it with a massive hit in order to generate any sort of revenue off your game. Because these games aren't going to sell, 1 million, 2 million copies. You'd be lucky if this game sold, 50,000 in its run. And it's not like, and as we see when we get through this, you'll get an understanding of what I mean. When it came out in 1993 on the Nintendo or Super Nintendo Entertainment System, it wasn't a well-received game. It was given 2.5 out of 5 stars by All Game. Video Games and Community Entertainment gave it a 60% rating in 94, and Game Informer gave it an 8 out of 10. But what you have to do is everything is built around the idea of, you start out with $2,000, you get it from the ATMs, and then you just go and play. And you're in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, and you just go and gamble. And you have options of things like video poker. Whoops. Wasn't supposed to leave. I am not ready to leave yet. And you do get these little cutscenes every now and again from different things. But you have slots, you have roulette, you have craps, you have blackjack. There's a game called Red Dog that I'm not familiar with. And then as you go throughout the casino, the amounts that you can bet get considerably higher. Like, I can go play video poker right now for $500, or I can play $500 video slots or on the slot machine. And then I think this is the high rollers area. Yeah, you have to be recognized as a high roller if you want to get into this space, which means you have to have a certain dollar amount to do it. And then you have Keno here, and I think that's all the games that they have available. And at different points, you get... oh, and this is the horse racing. So if you want to bet on a ticket, you can do that too. But everything's done with this kind of point-and-click sort of deal. It's based very much on something you would play on a PC, and they did... in certain markets that have this come out as a PC title. Okay, and this is a high roller area too. So we're kind of confined to this early section here for what we want to play. You can come up here, and I think there's more stuff you can play up top. Yeah, you can play the dollar slots. I think these are kind of low ball, roulette, and craps. Not sure what this guy wants. I'm on a winning streak right now. Hopefully you will be too. How much have you won? And he won't tell me how much. Can't go in there. I would imagine those are probably the restrooms or something. And you have these little exchanges with people as you're playing. Spend 5 hours at a blackjack table. I have a lot of tips for you on blackjack if you want to hear them. Sure. Most important rule is you must assume the dealer's down card is a 10. Dealer showing 6 or less, you assume you must hit, or he must hit and hopefully bust. And if you are familiar with card games and you're familiar with gambling in any respect, then a lot of this will make a reasonable amount of sense to you, because again, this is stuff that is pretty basic information. If you're ever going to go to Vegas, or when Atlantic City still had good casinos. And I have never been to Vegas. Well, I checked that. I've been to Vegas long enough to have a layover at McCarran Airport from point A to point B. But I've never actually gone into Vegas and played any games. I've never visited any casinos there. I never went to Atlantic City. And honestly, if I was ever going to go to Vegas for anything, as this shows you how you're going to play this game, it would be more to watch a fight, because I've been into boxing for the majority of my life, and Vegas is where you go if you want to see the really good fights. So, all right, well, we'll try out some games here. We'll try the slots first. So you get 3 opportunities with it, and you give it a pull, and you got nothing. But this is the game. I mean, it's... Well, we got something out of that. This is the board that tells... So if you get a champ, you automatically win. If you have 3 referees, that'll give you an idea. And then it's 3 bells, 3 sevens, and then 3 winners as the ultimate jackpot. But this is the game. I mean, it's nothing more complicated than this, which begs the question of, if you're going to spend the amount of time it takes to play this and get good at it, what are you playing it for? If you're playing it on the idea that you actually want to go to Vegas and you to get your chip tray here. So I am still where I started at $2,000 because I won in that one hand, or in that one pull. And if I want to, I can convert this stuff over here, or I can just move it back over. So But also bear in mind, this being 1993, this is before the ESRB came out. This is before games were rated. So if you were, you know, say a 9, 10, 11-year-old kid, you could go get this game and not have to worry about it. I mean, your parents wouldn't give you any grief. Nobody would give you any flack about it. And then you can go and play gambling to your heart's content, which is not necessarily the best thing I think most parents want their kids doing when they're playing a video game. Now, I'm not one of those teetotaler sorts that says gambling is bad or all that stuff. That's not the point. The point being that there are certain things that people, understanding the nature of gambling, it can be one where if you are not careful, it can get away from you and it can lead to some pretty bad habits. Now, conversely, that doesn't mean that by playing this game, you're automatically going to become a gambling junkie. I'm not saying that either. You know, like most people in the aughts, I got into playing games like video poker. Ooh, and I'm already down to my last bit of money here. I better choose wisely. So I need, in order to win this, I need jacks or better. Nope. And I went pop. So try my password at the ATM machine. Okay. Well, we'll do that. But like I said, in the in the aughts, I got into playing poker like everybody else. Oh, and I didn't write down my password. That's fine. This is, considering how old this game is, you have to have your password down if you want to be able to do anything. But that is a long password, and I'm not interested in writing it down. But having grown up in families where I have dealt with addiction of different types, like, you know, my dad was an alcoholic and he was into drugs and things like that. And my aunt, who was straight as an arrow, before she passed away, she had enough money saved up that before she died, her and my uncle went to Vegas and had a whole lot of fun at a casino. You know, there's a place for it anywhere. I totally get that. But like all things, I'm a big fan of doing it in moderation. Okay, now I gotta be able to put some chips down here so I can. Yeah, I get that. Okay. There we go. So I have 19. We're sitting on a jack. Oh, and instead of staying, I bet, because that was not smart. I got 8. Okay. See, press B again, draw more chips. Press X, remove, okay. Put L to stand. Ah. Okay. That gives me 19. And I actually won something. Hey, I'll take that. See if I can do that again. 18. Oh. But of course, they draw blackjack on me. Alright, try one more time. I got 19. Whoop. No, I didn't mean to call it. Or I didn't mean to say hit. All right. Well, I'm 4,000 bucks out, and I've only been playing for 15 minutes, which is very much like you find in an actual casino. If you are not careful, you can get on a hot streak, or you can be an absolute cooler. And be in a world of hurt really quickly. But that this is the whole game, again, it makes me wonder just what the overall goal is. You know, from the standpoint of somebody who is maybe thinking about going to Las Vegas and playing, you know, trying their luck. What did I do here? Didn't want to do that. You know, that's one thing, but all right, I got 8. That's 15. Ooh. At 15, you need to hit. And that just cost me big. It's always been the idea that you stand on 16 or better, hit on 15 or lower. I got 9. Now I got 16. Now, if anything, I can push here. Nope. Because they went for it on 16 and ended up going bust. Ooh, and I dropped 21. Well, that was nice. Now I'm back at 2,500. So I'm up. I'm still down 15, or no. Still down 3,500 from where I was. And I stayed on 10 because I was an idiot and hit the wrong button. Alright, see if I can get this back. That's 13. That's 20. I'll call it good on 20. And we push. So if when you're playing blackjack you end up with the same amount as the dealer, that's called a push. You don't lose your money, you just don't get any more. Alright, I'll give this one a go. That gave me 21, and that gave me a nice big boost. So I'm okay. Well, I'm back where I started. I'm at 25. Now you can split these cards, and hopefully, oh, I wanted to split them. That's not how it worked. Okay. I'll hold on 18. They got 20. Alright, I'm not doing good at the blackjack table, even though I won a couple of hands. Let's try craps. So we can go 100 or up to 500. Now, the thing about craps is that there are so many different ways you can win money. That it's hard not to really come out with something. Oh, I gotta bet up to $100. Okay. We're betting $5 a pop here. Okay. Alright, I'm tired of already dealing with that. But just the idea of spending this much time walking around a casino and trying out different games, it's one of those that you just scratch your head and just kind of go, WTF, you know? You couldn't make a game like this nowadays, really. And I know that would not stop most from trying. The whiff. Okay, let's try this one more time here. I didn't get anything for having getting the Harlequin. Yeah, we're not getting anything here. But again, you have to be a real fan of things like Vegas and gambling and stuff like that in order to go enjoy this game. You know, I get the only reason why I ever even knew this game existed was because one of the kids I babysat way back in the day. Let's try a horse race. Their parents had it. And because their parents had it, I was just like, okay, well, I need something to pass the time. But that's about it. And now what they'll do, I think, is with the horse races that they will let me know once the results are in. Let's try Red Dog here. So you're looking for a card from 5 to 1. One card 5 to 1, 2 cards 4 to 1, 3 cards 2 to 1, 4 plus 1 to 1. 3 of a kind pays 11 to 1. Oh. And I whiffed. It was like a 3-card Monty almost. Ace, ace. Oh, and I'm walking out of there. Alright. And we'll come back over here. I'll try this. Or not. Ah, that's why I am out of cash. So I went bust again. So now I'm down 6,000 bucks. So if you want to learn how to be a degenerate gambler, I suppose it's better than nothing. But otherwise, I mean, it's just, this is the game for what it is. So you're not going to get anything out of it. So this is definitely, of all the games I've played, this is definitely the one that I think more than any of them qualifies now, almost 30 years later, as a true WTF game. Because I don't know anybody who really would take the time and energy to play a game like this now. Especially because if you want to be able to go online and play video poker, you can go online to like PokerStars, or there's a million online gambling sites. And now, especially in the United States, that sports betting is opening back up. If there's a lot more options that are available, rather than dropping 40, 50, 60 bucks on a game like this, where you can play like you're in a casino and spend time doing that, or again, like it was with bowling, you can just save up money, and if you want to go to a casino and try your luck and hopefully walk out with more cash than you did when you walked in, that's your prerogative to do so. You know, good luck if you do, but for me, I think this is about as much gambling as I'm willing to do, especially considering I've made it over 40 years and not been to Vegas and never really tried my luck. So I ain't a betting man, and because of that, I'm not going to put much more money down on stuff like this. So that, guys, is Super Caesar's Palace for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System from 1993 for our third WTF Wednesday. If you've enjoyed this segment, best way you can show it is hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. Also, you can look us up online at our Retrocade on Twitter. Help us hit our goal, if you can, of 100 subscribers so we can unlock the YouTube customization algorithm as soon as possible. And then if there's a game you would like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, SNK Neo-Geo, excuse me, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2, leave in the comments below. Don't miss out on Sports Saturday and Sucker Punch Sunday coming up this weekend, and then we will start our new feature playthrough starting on Monday. Again, it'll be a Nintendo Entertainment System game, but we won't be playing it on the Nintendo. That'll be the only teaser I give you. If you want to check it out, you'll have to tune in then. Otherwise, as always, my name is Ronin. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everybody. Be safe, be well, and I will talk to you again this weekend. Bye.